The 2019 presidential election looks set to be a repeat of 2014, when current leader Joko Widodo narrowly defeated Prabowo Subianto, an ex-armed forces general who was formerly married to a daughter of Suharto. The SI is one of 4 new parties the General Election Commission is allowing to contest next year's legislative and presidential elections. 2 of the new parties are fronted by establishment figures. The United Indonesia Party, Perindo, is headed by U.S. President Donald Trump's business partner in Indonesia, Haritanu Suyodoyo, while the Berkia Party is led by Suharto's youngest son, Tommy, who advocates a return to the New Order values of his late father. SI leader Grace Natalie, a former television journalist, believes the time has come for a new generation of politicians who would be genuinely accountable to the people. Her party interviews members seeking nomination for a seat in parliament, and live streams the discussions on social media platforms. Teachers, corporate lawyers, doctors, and bankers are among those whose interviews have aired on Facebook and YouTube. SI relies on crowdfunding and donations to run operations across the vast archipelago of Indonesia, and to keep costs down it works from members' houses and uses donated vehicles. This way, no one person can claim that they own the party. Everyone is contributing something, said Natalie, who was educated in Jakarta and the Netherlands, and speaks proficient English. So far, SI has raised 2.6 billion rupiah, $180,000, a tiny sum compared to the coffers of mainstream parties that benefit from poor enforcement of laws limiting political donations. It will also struggle to get traction with the youth it is targeting. While the size of the youth vote bank has swelled from 18% of total voters in 2004 to 30% in 2014, the participation of young voters has dwindled. Data from the Elections Commission showed less than half of voters between 17 and 29 years old cast a ballot in 2014 legislative elections compared with around 90% among those over 30. Ella Prihatini, a researcher at the University of Western Australia, in a survey of 253 young voters, found many of them were uninterested in politics. On Parliament, the dominant answer from respondents was that their MPs are not actually representing them, so why bother voting? Prihatini said. Political Islam winning support is also likely to be particularly challenging for Natalie, an ethnic Chinese Indonesian, in a climate of religious and ethnic tensions. Indonesia is a secular country, but concerns are growing about the Islamization of politics in the world's largest Muslim-majority country. Jakarta's former governor, an ethnic Chinese Christian, was ousted last year after hardline Muslim groups organized massive protests over allegations he insulted Islam. He was later jailed for blasphemy. The 14 parties contesting next year's polls include the Indonesian Democratic Party of Struggle, PDIP, which leads the ruling coalition, several other secular parties, as well as rising Islamic-oriented parties. Natalie, who plans to run for parliament next year, conceded she and SI need a far bigger budget to win support in rural areas, home to nearly half of Indonesia's population. Her party will back Widodo, a popular moderate reformer, for re-election as president rather than try to field a candidate of its own. But I can't relate to SI, he said. It is a new political party and has no track record yet. It is a nice utopian effort that shows desire for change from the educated, westernized elite, he said.